Hi, Tracy.
How's it going?
Oh, I love the way you touch my fringe.
This is so great.
Oh, my fringe is fringing.
Oh, this will make me so happy. All right, so I feel like your outfit really embodies what's coming for the Angular community.
I think we're all Flash. Wait a minute, that's an old technology. That's a technology. Yeah, exactly. We're bringing the Flash to Angular.
So you work so much with the Angular core team, and I know you're a really good voice for the Angular core team when they're testing out new things and trying out new features or deciding if they're going to implement something or.
Well,
et cetera.
they have a wonderful sense of the technological possibilities and a great desire to know that the community is going to actually care about these things. And I have some insights, into the ways a certain part of the community responds to these things, and so I can kind of give that and also be a sounding board for if it makes sense to me, it might make sense to some other people. So I kind of fill that role.
Well, what are some of the more exciting things that you see for the future of Angular?
It's changing the way we write apps. It's changing the way we think about how we architect apps. And there are some technologies that are part of Angular, not necessarily inside Angular, that people are wondering, should I try it? Should I go there or not? And so among those are RxJS. I know it's a subject dear to your heart. I also know from talking to people that it kind of blows their minds a little, and they say, why am I bothering with that? Can't we not have that? And of course you don't have to have it, but it opens up a lot of possibilities. For example, Kara's, have you interviewed Kara?
Yes, the Reactive Forms, and really incorporating a lot of Rx so that you can do so there's more push-based stuff.
Well, she was showing how you could have push-based validation, which is very cool. The specific example being, if you had a bidding system and you're sitting there and somebody else had a bid, you'd want to know that your bid, which was good, is no longer good, and how do you push that in and treat it as a validation effect? So, but this is what happens is that you start to see possibilities in what your application could do that you didn't really think you could handle, and it's made possible by observables. I'll give you another example. A lot of us, we say, why do I need it? Why don't I just use a promise for HTTP things? I'm just going to get it and get it back. But we don't often think about how it is that what if it's a mobile device and you're losing connectivity? How do I do retry? How do I understand these things? A lot of these things we just gave up on because they were too hard to manage, and RxJS now becomes possible, and you say, hey, I could do that. So thing after thing that you just abandoned in your old style as saying that's going to be too hard to do suddenly becomes a real possibility.
It's like the opportunities are endless. This is how I feel about WebAssembly. Like the entire world will be combined and intertwined through JavaScript. Really, it's like world domination through JavaScript because of WebAssembly.
I remember saying, "You got to be kidding me, JavaScript!" So many of us are still, of the community from which I come, are still saying, if it's in JavaScript, don't waste my time with it. They don't realize what's now possible.
Yeah.
I'm really enthusiastic about the effect that TypeScript has on the quality of code and how easy it is to do things. Now that's something that the community that I talk to picks up on really quickly. They really like it.
Do you feel like, just like RxJS, do you feel like this is something worth investing in? Do you feel like TypeScript? I mean, most people just default to TypeScript, right?
Well, they do if they're coming to Angular.
Right.
But I still get mail about if it's in TypeScript, I'm not going to touch it, and I'm saying, where are you from? Yeah. Oh, I'll tell you what else is really opening up people's ideas about what's possible is lazy loading, right? Because that was really so hard to delay when a large chunk of functionality arrives.
Right.
And now that it's made so much more easy. And so far we know how to do it through routing, because the router just does it. And I'm getting more and more questions about what if I want to lazy load something but I don't want the router to be involved, so I'm hoping we'll be able to explain how to do that too.
That's exciting.
So that you can decide to do it with or without the router. NgRx store, I'm kind of known as a NgRx skeptic, but I see lots of applications for it. And I expect that we'll see more and more of uses of NgRx in people's applications.
Oh, very cool. One thing that's been really exciting me is this whole idea of Angular being a platform. So Angular not just being for the web, and really cool projects like, who was it? Like Austin recently gave a talk at ng-conf, and he gave a talk about WebVR and WebGL and the cool things you can do. I told him he basically made React VR for Angular, which is amazing.
I did not know about that.
Yeah.
So there's a whole dimension there in terms of using Angular for fun things.
Yeah.
That I.
You're the more practical
I'm
person.
I've spent so much of my career helping businesses deliver things that you can sometimes lose track of the fact that people like this for fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I do
but
all
that's
my
great.
stuff for fun.
Do you do a lot of stuff? For
I
fun?
do.
Oh.
I mean, it's the
You
only
look
thing
like
I
it.
do.
See,
Well,
we
you
like
look
looking
it.
like fun, but yeah. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Uri stuff, what Uri Shakat does with the Angular IoT and the Web Bluetooth, and just enabling all these cool ideas and projects in the community. It's really impressive.
Yes, he did a talk on sort of helping us concentrate on accessibility. I think that's something that we need to make easier for developers to make their applications more accessible. It's an area that I'm not very good at, and it's on my list for 2017 to get better at.
Well, I know I was listening to the accessibility community talk about routers and how routers do things, and like routers should use the
link,
the
the
ATAG,
anchor.
the href, but we just do router link, and
and clicking.
they're kind of sad about it.
They're very sad about it. They're very angry about it.
Yes.
And so this is something for the docs. I have to sweep through. We have to sweep through the docs and find those places where we haven't been as sensitive as we need to be. And I'm looking forward to doing that.
That's great. You're working with Rob Dodson on that then.
And Marcy Sutton. Mostly,
Great.
You know Marcy.
This was Marcy, the one that was complaining about it.
Yeah, and you hear somebody complain and say, "Hey, Marcy, hey, what can we do? What can we do? Let's do something."
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's really beautiful.
And she's really been very encouraging.
I know, she's amazing. So where can we find you online?
I'm on Twitter at WordBell, and that's probably one of the best places.
Cool. Personal phone number?
It's all yours. Here, let me give that to you.
Cool. Thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me, Tracy.
Hey there. Are you into reactive programming using JavaScript? Do you have to deal with asynchrony in your web app? Then join this instructor Ben Lesh to learn all of the ins and outs of RxJS in his hands-on workshop. Available online and in person, go to rxworkshop.com for more details and to book your spot today.